So Sydney Sweeney
Palate cleanser.
Palette cleanser. Sydney Sweeney is about to star in a biopic about a legendary female boxer, and she's talking about how she's going to start training soon. And this comes with a whole avalanche of announcements that happened while we were out of town and not paying as much attention to all of this industry news. Brett, you said it was because they've had like these investors calls, so they're gonna just start like pumping out all of this information from the studios.
A lot of this is tied to talking to investors and quarterly earnings and stuff like that. They have to start announcing their projects, kind of like when upfronts come out.
So we're kind of just gonna go through a bunch of those, but first one is Sydney Sweeney. She gets pride of place. She's starring as a boxer named Christy Martin. I had never heard of her.
No, I had not either.
They're just making a biopic about literally anyone these days.
I haven't heard of Sydney Sweeney either.
That's not true. That's not true, because we talked about Sydney Sweeney last night. You are lying, my friend.
Liar.
He's lying. He knows exactly who Sydney Sweeney
people
is.
go on the internet and tell lies? That's the first I heard about it.
He's not being honest, ladies and gentlemen.
But she does bear a resemblance. I see it.
Yeah, she does. I mean, so much as like this lady is getting punched in the face here, and then.
Well, yeah. If you see her without the blood on her face,
correct.
They do look alike. Yes. I just have never heard of her.
I'm
kind of sick of the biopics.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why I got excited about this, because the first thing she talks about is how she's gonna start prepping for the role. None of this like I can just play the movie how I look, otherwise it's misogyny. Bullshit. I had a tweet.
We saw a 90-pound woman.
I had a tweet the other day.
Choke a grown man to death last night.
I know.
It's totally believable. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I had a tweet the other day when I was talking about like they did the before and the after of David Cornsweet getting in shape to play Superman, and I said, look, I don't care if these dudes are juiced to their eyeballs. Like if you're a grown adult and you can consent to taking whatever substances you want, legal or not, it's none of my business. If I like it when an actor takes the decision to look like the character they're playing seriously. And when you're playing superheroes, for instance, you may not be able to be a superhero, but you can get close to superhero physique. You just need a little pharmaceutical help. I'm not advocating anyone do that.
Are you saying Sydney Sweeney is going to get on steroids?
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that the idea that she's taking the role seriously is important, and that she's saying, like, I'm not just going to jump in and expect them to believe that a noodle-armed person can be a pro boxer. Mm-hmm. That's important. That she talks a lot about how she was really invested in the marketing for her last movie, and she takes the business side of the industry very, very seriously. And after doing all of these things, where I saw this article the other day where like all of the women on Pretty Little Liars made less than the men who were not important characters. I'm like, finally, some women that are taking the business side of it seriously.
I would be more excited if I thought Sydney Sweeney was a better actress.
I almost like it better that she's not. It's more endearing to me.
A lot of people think she's a great actress.
She will get better with time.
Talking about Immaculate or Reality.
I need to watch.
Neither of which I've seen.
I need to watch Immaculate, but I watched Anyone But You on the flight up here, and she didn't really.
It wasn't giving.
Daniel G says based in Ozempic pills.
You can kill me right now for just repeating what you said.
Sydney Sweeney is definitely not on Ozempic, and I hope she never will be. But it's different. It's a rom-com, but people seem to believe in her as an actress.
Yeah, and she's likable, and she takes the business side seriously. She doesn't treat it like her own ideological bubble. She understands that she's in the industry to make money, make a name for herself, and produce a product. And
she understands that she is the product.
I understand. I don't think that when people look at her, they're like, she's art. She's really into the art.
She really knows what she's doing. Like that's something about Sydney Sweeney is she has really good marketing instincts.
Yes.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing. Yeah.
That's really, really important. And I think that's what, when Tom Cruise, for instance, when we went to see Fall Guy and Ryan Gosling and the director do their thing where they pretend to care about the audience. And they're like, we're so happy you showed up to the movie theater. We wouldn't be able to do this without you.
They would never say movie theater. They're going to say cinema.
The cinema. Look, when Tom Cruise said it, he's a good enough actor that you believe it. You believe that he actually gives a crap about you. Whether he does or not is irrelevant.
We have a $20 from Philip Reed. He said, I'm here to start an argument. 50 First Dates with Adam Sandler is a great movie, and no one can convince me otherwise.
50 First 50 First Dates is a great movie. I've seen it probably 30 times.
There you go.
Actually,
No argument.
Actually, every time that I go on the plane, maybe not every time, if the plane is kind of short and I want to watch a new film, but if it's a long flight, like I was just flying back from Germany, I watched 50 First Dates. It's a comfort movie of mine. All right, I know that it might not be the highest brow. I know that it might be like a middle of the road Adam Sandler movie, but there's something about it that is just very comforting to me.
It's your safe space.
It's my safe space. Okay.
I have no problem with Adam Sandler as an actor in general. Like I don't. I like Adam Sandler, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with liking, like, as you say, middle brow.
Well, Uncut Gems was a one-off, it seems.
I mean, that's not even what I'm talking about.
No, it wasn't a one-off because he had Punch Drunk Love, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, which was also a fantastic movie. I mean, and he was in the Meyerowitz Stories, the Noah Baumbach movie. He was great in that. He's been really good in a number of films. Yeah.
And look, he made Hustle with Netflix in 2022, which was I'm a sucker for sports movies, and it's a great basketball movie that I really, really enjoyed. Like, if you like films like Hoosiers and stuff like, it's not on the level of Hoosiers, but it's a good 2022 sports film, and you don't get a lot of those these days. But Sydney Sweeney in general, I think she's moving the industry in the right direction, at least as far as the big budget people are concerned. I don't want to pretend like I don't care about your art house nature when you're making movies that are of a certain budget. That's just me personally, and most fans don't either. Like the people who are really into deep cinema, that's different. But the audience wants you to be personable and wants you to know what you're doing.
Well, I mean, you can do both. You can have very personable people that help,
Well, I'd say Tom Cruise is a fair example, at least of somebody who loves the process of making films, but he's also doing it on do you have a favorite Tom Cruise movie?
That's a tough question.
Interview with a Vampire.
There you go.
Yeah, that's his gayest movie.
He was
you just assume that I'm gay. I'm not. I'm a very heterosexual
You still need to
man.
watch that, Brett. You
have-
like Tom Cruise as a villain.
I mean, I really like, of course, Risky Business. I really like. I love the Mission Impossible movies.
Again, another franchise that I can put on at any time.
I was stalking your Letterboxd, and I saw you gave a 5-star, I think, or maybe 4.5 stars to Dead Reckoning.
Yeah, I loved it.
That's crazy.
I loved it too. I did think
4.5 out of 5.
I thought the last action scene dragged a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought the train scene dragged a little bit.
But
it was too long.
Man, but Mission Impossible movies, those are like some of my favorite action movies of all time.
Collateral is still my favorite movie of his.
That was Michael Mann?
Yeah.
Michael Mann's great too.
Another director. Okay, I got into like a bunch of arguments with people recently because they're talking about the casting for Heat 2, the prequel, which the fact that they're not calling it Preheat is absolutely wasn't mine. Somebody else said that
because you know that it's an adaptation of Michael Mann's book Heat 2.
Yeah. I still don't care. I don't think it needs to be made. They're like, but Adam Driver. I'm like, I don't care. It doesn't need to be made. Again, you're gonna try and capture nostalgia. You will never capture the grit of 1990s LA. Again, and this will be a prequel, so this will be like what the late 80s or something like that.
Yeah.
And you're never gonna recapture that atmosphere.
Wait, wasn't it in Heat where Al Pacino's like that big round ass?
She's got a great ass. Just coked out of his mind at that time. Well, and then later they go like, they were subtly hinting that the character had a coke habit, like because Al Pacino probably had a coke habit at the time. But okay.
They just had to they're like, we got to factor this into the film somehow, or people are gonna think something's
so
off.
many actors in that movie that like Dennis Haysbert, who's a great actor, was like just a kind of a bit player. Danny Trejo's in that movie. There's so many actors that you forget. Tom Sizemore is in that movie. So many that you forget that are really, really good performers.
Yeah. Maybe not super great people, but good performers.
But good performers.
Yeah,
exactly.
Tom Sizemore. Yeah.
So there's other movies coming out. Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney kind of are taking over Hollywood.
Yeah, they're the rising stars, it seems. He's in a new legal drama called Monsanto with Anthony Mackie and Laura Dern.
Laura Dern's first thing since like Jurassic Park.
Follows an untried attorney who takes a seemingly insurmountable case against a U.S. chemical company, Monsanto.
It reminds me, what was that movie that came out a couple of years ago with Mark Ruffalo about like the water?
Do you remember called that? Dark Water.
Dark Water. And that was the same thing. Big corporations are evil. It's actually
Can they do it against Big Pharma, though?
It's actually true, but it's just annoying because Hollywood's actually in the pocket of all these people.
I forgot Tom Cruise was in Color of Money. That's great. It's Scorsese. Yep. Yeah, but anyways, going back to it.
Yeah.
Dark Water, that was Todd Haynes directed that. And that was like the only Todd Haynes movie that I haven't seen because I just wasn't interested in it.
Yeah. And whenever you watch these films, it's annoying because you know that they're all virtue signaling and that they all, it would be, you're right, Mary. It's like, could you guys do this about Big Pharma, please?
Yeah, they never will, though.
Like, I want to, like, is there going to be a movie called AstraZeneca?
Have Travis Kelce star in it. How about
Yes.
that? Wait, what is Travis Kelce doing again?
He's doing.
There's a new announcement about him, too.
Grotesque. It was like, it was some lame
grotesquerie or some shit that he could never pronounce.
Yeah.
That was the joke. Like, why are you having Travis Kelce star in something
really
he couldn't
funny
even pronounce?
If, like, okay, when Kurt Angle came to pro wrestling, he was a natural and he was like instantly main event material because he came from the world of like amateur wrestling. If like Travis Kelce goes to acting, he's just instantly Oscar material and nobody knows why. Just this big dumb football player who just turns it on when the camera's on.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.